Hey, what's going on, guys? And happy Halloween. Welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to make a quick little video showing off some of my favorite Halloween movies to watch. Not technically Halloween movies on all of them, but movies that get me in the Halloween spirit and some of my favorite to rewatch every single October every year. These are movies that I watch every single year and I can't go in October without watching. So thought I'd just make a quick little video showing these to you guys. Maybe it'll be an annual thing for me. Every October, I'll grab another stack of movies I love watching in October. So hopefully you guys are in a good Halloween spirit this year. Let's get into these movies. So first of all, let's get the obvious one out of the way, and I have to include it, and that is the first 6 Halloween movies. And I say the first 6 because they're my favorite ones out of the franchise. The first 6 I have to rewatch every single year. I usually add on the others. I'll watch H2O and Resurrection, and then sometimes I'll watch the Rob Zombie remakes. But for the most part, the first 6 Halloween movies I have to watch every single October. I love every single one of them for different reasons, even the bad ones, and I'll admit that they're bad, like Halloween 5. And a lot of people say Halloween 6 is bad, but I love Halloween 6. Even Halloween 3, even though it doesn't have Michael, it's one of my favorite Halloween movies. One of the best Halloween atmosphere movies of all time. So obviously, John Carpenter's Halloween, the classic. You can't even bring up Halloween without thinking of this movie. It's a perfect film, in my opinion. There are mistakes in it watching it now today, but those don't bother me at all. There's a lot of like camera shadows. Some of the acting isn't the greatest. There are some slow scenes, but it just builds to what this movie is. And I love every second of this movie. Halloween 2, I think, is a perfect follow up to Halloween. It is different, but it also has that feel. And this one has a special Halloween feel that I can't explain really. It's really either you love it or you hate it, but I love it. It just has a certain feel to it that I love. I love the Halloween feel of the hospital, the atmosphere of the shots while they're in town near the beginning of the movie. Amazing to me. It has perfect Halloween atmosphere. I think Rick Rosenhall really did a good follow up at trying to keep John Carpenter's feel while making this movie, and I think he did a great job. And like I said, Halloween 3 obviously has nothing to do with Michael Myers, but this is one of the best Halloween movies that I can think of. Just one of the best atmospheric and feel and unique stories that directly in lines with Halloween. And you can't get really much better than this. This is an awesome movie. If it was just released a Season of the Witch, like everyone says, it would be hailed as a classic. And I'm glad that this movie is getting the praise that it deserves nowadays. It definitely is getting a lot more praise than it did back in the 80s. So I love Halloween 3. It's a must watch every single October. Halloween 4, the one everybody hates the mask, but I kind of like the mask. I can definitely see why people hate it, but I grew up on it. So as a little kid, I seen that mask like on AMC when they would do the commercial for the Halloween movies they were going to show. They'd always show that scene of him setting up on the bed and the lights flashing. I love this one. I think this movie has great atmosphere, has some good kills, it has Michael Myers going just off the wall. This one is the one where it really shows his strength and like the Michael Myers strength. And I think it introduces good characters and it smartly interweaves why this is a sequel to the second one with Jamie Lee Curtis dying, even though I think it's kind of cheap. It's kind of the only way they could go, and I think they did a good job at it. And Halloween 5, obviously being the weakest of the 6, but I still love it. I think it has great atmosphere. The mask is horrible. I actually don't like this mask. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's definitely probably, besides some of the ones they use in H2O, probably my least favorite mask. Probably second least favorite. I really don't like the H2O mask in some of the scenes that they show, but I can find some enjoyment out of Halloween 5. They made a lot of mistakes, but overall, this is just a classic Michael Myers movie, and I love that classic feel. It has great atmosphere to me. I love the barn scenes and that whole barn party atmosphere. It has some pretty good kills. The story's wacky, but I can still have fun with it. And then Halloween 6, arguably, I would say that this Halloween movie has the best atmosphere out of all the Halloween movies. I think this movie feels like Halloween more than any other Halloween, in my opinion. And I love Michael Myers in this movie. I love the mask. I love the whole look, and he's ruthless in this movie, which I love. The story, like I said, is wacky, continuing off of 5 with the whole curse thing. I could do without that. But other than that, Michael is great in this. The atmosphere is great. The characters are okay. And I really like Halloween 6. All right, moving off of the Halloween movies, we'll get into some more obscure movies. This is Pumpkinhead. And this movie has a great Halloween feel to it. It is set in the fall. I think it might even be set on Halloween. I can't remember. But it's definitely in the fall because there's pumpkins and stuff in it. And this is pretty much a revenge story about a dad getting revenge on this group of teenagers with the help of a witch. I won't give away any more than that because it'll spoil the movie. But this is a great Halloween feel movie. It has the fall atmosphere, it has the monsters, it has the cool night scenes and stuff like that. So it has a farm feel to it, cabin in the woods type stuff. There's like a pumpkin graveyard in this one, which is really cool atmosphere. You can probably see it on the cover. And so this is a must watch for me every October. I love Pumpkinhead. I have not seen the sequels. I've heard or I've seen that there are sequels. They're probably horrible from the looks of them, but this first one is great. I'd highly recommend Pumpkinhead for this October. Next up is another lesser known one. It's called Dark Night of the Scarecrow. This is another revenge story, but it's of somebody being bullied and then they come back for revenge. It's kind of a slower burn, but it's a unique one. Not a lot of people talk about this one from what I've seen, and it has some pretty cool Halloween atmosphere. Obviously, it's set on a farm. It's a scarecrow killer. It's kind of a weirder one. It has some weird acting in it. It's definitely an obscure film, but it's a classic to me, and I watch it every October, and I recommend you guys check it out. Next up's another popular one that everyone's heard about, and that's Trick or Treat, but I can't leave it out. It's a watch I put in every year. It's an anthology if anyone hasn't seen it somehow. This is a Halloween anthology about the roots of Halloween and the rules of Halloween and the interweaves different timelines during the night. It's really cool how they do it. And it obviously has Sam in it, which has become an iconic Halloween symbol, Halloween character. So Trick or Treat, nothing much to say about this one. It's a great anthology, one of the best anthologies that I know of. Definitely an October watch every single year. Next up is a newer one, but I don't hear people talk about this one a whole lot. It's called Haunt. And this is about a group of kids that are looking for a good haunted house to go to on Halloween night. And they come across this one that is kind of off the beaten trail. And it turns out to be very real. The pain is real, the scares are real, and the killers are real. So it's basically these kids are teenagers stuck in this haunted house with these real killers. And they look really cool. They have separate masks and it has really good atmosphere. Obviously, it's set on Halloween night. These kids are at a haunted house, and it's a really good, intense movie. And it just came out of nowhere. I just seen it. I think last year I bought this. Eli Roth produced it, and I was just looking for more Halloween movies to watch that I haven't seen. Picked this one up at Vending Stock, and I was surprised. It is really good, so I highly recommend you check out Haunt if you haven't seen it. These last two, some people wouldn't consider Halloween movies, but I watch them every October because they give me that feel. First up is the Amityville Horror, the original one from, I believe, 1979. I'm not sure. I think that's close. 79, I'm pretty sure. This movie, to me, has great fall atmosphere. It's set in November-ish, I think. It moves through, I think it honestly starts like Halloween-ish, if I remember right, and then it goes in through November. But still, it has great fall atmosphere. Obviously, November is still fall. Might not be before Halloween, but it's still fall. And all the trees are dead, the leaves are on the ground, and this family is stuck in this paranormal house. Not stuck, but they're in this paranormal house. Obviously, everybody knows the tale of Amityville Horror. This is a must watch for me every October. I think it has great Halloween feel. I love this original one. A lot of people don't like this original Amityville Horror. They think it's boring. I love this one. It's one of my favorite ghost stories of all time. The last one is one of my favorites, and it's a long one. This is Salem's Lot, the original Salem's Lot. Stephen King's, obviously. This movie's 3 hours. Realistically, it's actually a TV special or TV series, what we'd call it, just like Stephen King's It, but it's for Salem's Lot. I love this movie. It may be 3 hours. It's definitely a slow burn, but it's that classic small town vampire flick that I love. The night scenes are awesome. When people start turning into vampires, they have a really cool look to them. Some really shocking like shots in this movie that are truly creepy. And the vampire, when it finally shows up, is awesome looking. If you can tell, I don't know if I was showing it, but This is one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations. It's one of the least talked about that I've seen. I don't really hear people talk about this one a lot, and it has great fall atmosphere. It's set in the fall. It's in this small town. It has great characters, and this is a must watch for me every October, along with all these other movies. I love Salem's Lot. I love vampire movies as a whole, and this is one of my favorite, if not my favorites. It's a slow burn, so you have to buckle in for it and just go on the ride with it, but it is worth it in my opinion. I love Salem's Lot. And I'd also throw in that you read the book Salem's Lot because it has perfect October feel, and Stephen King is a master in that book. He wrote it beautifully. So I recommend reading and watching the movie. So that is it for this year's October watch list for me. Next year, I'll probably make another one, and then this might be an annual thing for me. I love watching fall movies in October. It just puts me in the mood, and Halloween's coming up in a few days. So I've already pretty much watched all these movies. I think Amityville Horror is the only one I need to rewatch, and I'll probably watch that one on Halloween. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what some of your guys' favorite October watch movies are, and I will see you in the next one. Happy Halloween.